Okay, last time we have read about the first base of merit, giving or generosity. And we stop at this line. We stop at this paragraph about giving to the Sangha and how the spiritual community of noble disciples is called the unsurpassed field of merit for the world. And then we stop at this line. As the text reminds us, this is true only for the morally pure, not for the immoral. Let's continue reading. This leads to the next base of merit, moral discipline, sila, which for early Buddhism requires the undertaking of precepts. The most basic moral guidelines inculcated in the Nikayas are the 5 precepts. The training rules to abstain from taking life, stealing, sexual misconduct, false speech, and the use of intoxicants. These are mentioned in text chapter 5.4, section 1, section 4.1, which by an interesting twist in terminology speaks of them as pristine, traditional, ancient gifts, thus implicitly subsuming sila under dana. The reason the observance of precepts is a form of giving is because one who undertakes precepts will be giving to immeasurable beings freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. And as a karmic consequence, he himself will enjoy immeasurable freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. So this paragraph talks about what we recite every morning, the 5 precepts, moral discipline. We highlight this. And the text talk about observing the precept is actually an ancient gift, pristine, traditional. Why? Why is that so? When we observe 5 precepts, when we undertake the precepts, we give other beings freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. And as a karmic consequences for ourselves, we ourselves will enjoy freedom from fear, hostility, and oppression. Okay, that's the second base of merit, sila. Okay, the next paragraph, Sister Chaikon, would you like to read?
While the Buddha enjoins observance of the 5 precepts upon lay followers as a full-time obligation, he recommends a more stringent type of moral practice for the Uposatha, the observant days determined by the lunar calendar, the full moon day, the new moon day, and the 2 half-moon days. Of the 4, in Buddhist countries today, it is the full moon day that is given priority. On this occasion, devout lay Buddhists undertake 8 precepts, the usual 5, but with the third change to complete sexual abstinence, augmented by 3 other precepts that emulate the training rules of a novice monk or nun. The 8 precepts enumerated in text 4, section 4, text 5, section 4.2, augment the training in sila as a moral observant with a training in self-restraint, simplicity, and contentment. In this regard, they prepare the disciple for the training of the mind undertaken in the practice of meditation, the third base of merit. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Chekwan. Okay, so here the Buddha also recommends a more stringent type of moral practice, the second based on merit, for the Uposatha. Yeah. What is the Uposatha? The observance day, determined by the lunar calendar. This. So the full moon day, anyone familiar with the lunar calendar? The full moon day, is it the first day or the last day?
The 15th, when the moon
15th.
is the roundest. That's full.
So this is the 15th.
15th of the lunar calendar. The new moon is the first day of the lunar calendar, which is Chu-yi. Yeah.
Okay. And the 2 half moon day?
2 half moon, actually, I don't really know. Yeah.
Okay, so the full moon day is in the middle of 15. The new moon is the first day of the lunar calendar. And the 2 half moon probably somewhere in between. Maybe 7 or 8. And after that,
If I want to guess, it will be 8 lah. Because
8.
sometimes Chupa, some of them also take the 8 precepts. And then 23rd, if I'm not wrong, 23rd. Yeah.
Yes.
In between.
I feel like I recall Sister Shifu's sister take 8 precepts during some of these days, I think.
Yeah. Later on in the Mahayana tradition, then we have like 6 days. Some observe 8 days in a month. That kind of practice.
I see. Okay, thanks, Hai Kiang, for enlightening us on the Chinese lunar calendar. Yeah, well, probably they also based on this recommended by the Buddha, using the moon as the guide. Okay, on these occasions, those who are more serious, devout lay Buddhists, we undertake the 8 precepts. Yeah? Sometimes some of us did observe 8 precepts too. Let me highlight this. What is the difference? The usual 5 with the third change to complete sexual abstinence. So no sexual activity at all. Highlight this. And the extra 3 other precepts is similar to the training of a monk. Highlight this as well. So the point of these 8 precepts is a training in self-restraint, simplicity, and contentment. Yeah. And it helps us prepare for the next base of merit. What is the next base of merit? The third base of merit is the practice of meditation. Okay, Sister Saikin, would you like to continue reading?
The practice of meditation is not only the heart of the path to liberation, but the source of merit in its own right. Wholesome meditation practices, even those that do not directly lead to insight, help to purify the grosser levels of mental defilement and uncover deeper dimensions of the mind's potential, purity, and radiance. Text chapter 5, section 5.1 declares that the type of meditation that is most fruitful for the production of mundane merit is the development of loving kindness, metta bhavana. The practice of loving kindness, however, is only one among a set of 4 meditations called the divine abodes, Brahma Vihara, or immeasurable states, apamanya. The development of loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity, which are to be extended boundlessly to all sentient beings. Briefly, loving kindness, or metta, is the wish for the welfare and happiness of all beings. Compassion, karuna, the feeling of empathy for all those afflicted with suffering. Altruistic joy or mudita, the feeling of happiness at the success and good fortune of others. And equanimity, upekkha, a balanced reaction to joy and misery, which protects one from emotional agitation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sister Sakyang. So for this third base of merits, it talks about different types of meditation and which one is the most fruitful. For the production of mundane merit is the meditation on loving kindness, metta bhavana. And metta bhavana is one among a set of 4 meditations called the divine abodes, Brahma Vihara, or called immeasurable states, apamanya. These 4 are briefly metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, and loving kindness, compassion, empathy, altruistic joy is the third one, and the last one is equanimity. Let me highlight this. Blue, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity. Okay. Next paragraph, Sister Aikin, would you like to read?
Okay. These meditations are said to be the means to rebirth in the Brahma world. See text 5, section 5.2. While the Brahmins regarded the Brahma world as the highest attainment, for the Buddha, it was just one exalted sphere of rebirth. The concentration arisen from these meditations, however, can also be used as a basis for cultivating the wisdom of insight, and insight accumulates in deliberation. Text 5, section 5.3, the last selection of this chapter, thus grades the different types of merit according to their fruits, from giving with the various kinds of gifts, ranked according to the spiritual status of the recipients, through the going for refuge, and the 5 precepts to the meditation on loving kindness. Then, at the very end, it declares that the most fruitful deed among them all is the perception of impermanence. The perception of impermanence, however, belongs to a different order. It is so fruitful not because it yields pleasant mundane results within the round of rebirth, but because it leads to the wisdom of insights that cuts the chain of bondage and brings the realization of complete emancipation, nibbana. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sister Aikin. So this talks further about the different kind of meditation and what it leads to. These meditations, this one is the previous 4, the divine abodes, is the way to rebirth to the Brahma world. What is the Brahma world? Here is defined as just one exalted sphere of rebirth among many of heavenly realms. And then the next text talks about different types of merits according to their fruits. From giving, the first base of merits, and then it classifies with different kinds of gifts, and then different kinds of recipients, and how would the merit differs. And then the next one, going for refuge and taking the 5 precepts to the meditation on loving kindness. Like this. And then the text ends with the most fruitful among them all is the perception of impermanence. Why? Because it leads to complete emancipation, nibbana. Okay, we have finished the introduction finally. After a few days. next time we're going to read the actual sutta itself. Any questions or comments from you?
I like the first paragraph that you read because I've never saw that taking 5 precepts in a way that you're actually not the very first one about taking 5 precepts where we are actually allowing others to be free from fear and etc. So I never see it that way. So it's always thinking about we are just following the precepts, like obeying the rules kind of thing. Yeah, so it's nice to see the other way as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the comment, Sister Singhui. Yeah, indeed, I think it's a interesting angle of looking at the precepts as a gift to other, not just other human beings around us, but also animals, like ants, and even in the past, before I explore deeply about Buddhism, I think I don't really care about my surroundings, especially the animals around me. Yeah. So after I'm more into Buddhism, whenever I see ants or all those creatures, I just let them be. In the past, I used to be afraid of them too, but after letting them, leaving them alone, now, interestingly, my fear of this creepy crawlies, they call it, they start to disappear. Whenever they pop up, I just like, oh, okay, yeah, please go ahead. In the past, I was used to, oh no, how should I handle these creatures? Yeah. So it's interesting that when I give them the gift of not taking their lives, I actually gain this freedom from fear, which is exactly what the text mentioned here. I enjoy freedom from fear. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's immeasurable yet, but to some degree, I do feel it. Thanks for the comments, Sister Singing. Anyone else would like to add?
Because I think Sister Xinghui is not around a few days ago when we are discussing about giving. Yeah. And then we are saying that there's these 3 levels of giving. First level is cai si, that means material giving. And then the second level is fa shi, the giving of the Dharma, sharing of the Dharma. And the last, which is just now mentioned, wu wei si, that means you give as a form of restraining yourself from killing beings. So beings doesn't have fear. Yeah. So that is the greatest giving because their life is not in danger. They are not worried that you kill them. Yeah. And become your food, kind of thing. So yeah, we were discussing this a few days ago and you're not around. Then Sister Shomi also mentioned that within the materials giving the cai si, there's nei cai and wai cai. That means outside you can just give food, money and all that, but also donation of blood. Yeah, giving, like donating your organs when you pass away. All these are also a form of giving. Yeah, and also I think I read somewhere about giving time to do volunteer work, giving your time to lend your friend a listening ear. That is also a form of giving. So actually, yeah, in our daily lives, there are a lot of ways where we can do giving. And then I agree with Sister Singhui regarding a different perspective of giving. We always think that give, that means there's something to give. But actually, doing the 5 precept and 8 precept, restraining ourselves is also a form of giving. And also during meditation, we also can practice loving kindness, giving, radiating the loving kindness to to all beings. Yeah, so it's I think it's very nice way of the Buddha teaching us about, how to give. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Sister Saikyang. And Sister Saikyang mentioned about donating organs. I think there's one policy in Singapore where you are automatically opt-in to donor the organs. I think that's a really good one. When I see that, I think this is a really good idea. So you are automatically in to donor your organs after you pass away. Yeah.
And we have seen live organ donation also. I've seen in the news, right? You've seen people donating part of their liver, to save life. And then there's always this blood donation, which sometimes Marcel, right? I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a very kind act of us to give while we can. Yeah.
That's a good point. I think I saw that the blood stock is going low. So if we have the time, let's go to the blood bank and donate our blood. So it mentioned that whenever you donate blood, you save up to 3 lives in the blood bank. Okay, thanks, Saikyang. Anyone else would like to add? Okay, if not, so would Sister Xinghui like to do the closing dedication?
愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了，普愿罪障悉消除，世世常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。
Thanks, Sister Xinghui. Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a moral Saturday ahead.